Girls, so this is going to be a rather quick video just revising how to find lowest common multiple between two numbers. So we're going to do two examples. So example one is going to be find the lowest common multiple between 32 and 40. So to do this, the first thing that we have to do is break down our numbers into prime factors. So this is related to what we were doing in lesson 1. So 32, remember that I can start in any way, shape or form that I want. So I don't know, 32 divided by, let's say 2 is going to be equal to 16. Is that right? Yes, that's right. Okay, so prime number 2, 16, I keep on going. Let's go 4 and 4. Remember that it doesn't matter where you start, you always end up with the same prime factors. So those are not prime factors, and I go into 2's and 2's. Good. And here 2 and 2, the same thing. 2 and another 2. Wonderful. So 32 can be written as 2 to the power of 5, which is correct. Okay, and now let's do 40. So let's do 40 here. So 40, I'm going to start with 2 again, and that gives me 20. And then 20, I'm going to divide it by 2 again, and that gives me 10. And I divide 10 again by 2, and that gives me 5. Wonderful. So 40 can be written as 2 to the power of 3 times 5. Okay, notice how I'm writing this. I want you to write it exactly the same way, one beneath the other, okay? Now, you are going to highlight those ones that are common, okay? So I'm going to highlight with yellow the ones that are common. So 2 is common to both of them. So when you're going to do the lowest common multiple, you're going to write the common one only once, okay? I'm going to explain first how to do it, and then I'm going to explain why this works, okay? Then, with the ones that are common, you're going to select the highest of the both indices. So this one is cube, and this one is to the power of 5. Which one is highest? So hopefully you're saying, okay, it's 5. So you have to write here 5, okay? So this 5 is that green one that we have there, and this 2 is that yellow one that we have there. Okay, so 2 is common to both. Beautiful. And then you also write any other prime factors that are not common. So in this case of 32, I don't have anything else. I don't have to write anything else. In this one, I'm going to write this 5 that is not common. So don't get me confused. This index that is there is little, is on the top, is this index here that is 2 to the power of 5. This 5 is because it's not common and because 40 had that one. I'm going to underline that one with a different color like this, so we don't get confused. This 5 is that 5, okay? Beautiful. So now I have that the lowest common multiple is going to be 32 times 5. Now, you can do that in whatever weight, form, and shape that you want, but I'm going to show you something. If we write it like this, this is the same as writing 2 to the power 4 times 2. Do you agree? I just split that one and then times 5. Why am I doing that? Because I know that 2 to the power 4, if I use my fingers, is going to be 16. Agree? I see it here. 16 is 2 to the power 4. We can see it here in this tree here. But if I do it with my fingers, also 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8 times 2, 16. So I have 16 times, and what's 2 times 5 is 10. So this one is going to be 160. So I found that my lowest common multiple between these two is 160. Okay, the lowest common multiple between those two numbers. So that's the answer. Now, what I wanted to show you is that if I do the tree of 160. Let's do it. The tree, like we just did here. This tree, we are saying that is going to have as like it's going to be, where in the name it says lowest common multiple. So between 32 and 40, if I find the multiples of 32 and I find the multiples of 40, then the lowest between these two is going to be 160. Another way of saying this is that the factors, or we can say the building blocks of 32 and the building blocks of 40 have also to be building blocks of the lowest common multiple. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. That's why we have to have all the building blocks, the common ones and the ones that are not common. Okay, so we know if I do the tree thing like this one of 160, the answer that I'm going to get is 2 to the power of 5 times 5, because that's what we're saying here. Exactly, that's how we came up to what was the lowest common multiple. But I want to show it to you just in case. So if I do 160 and I'm going to divide it by 10 and by 16, and then 10 I'm going to divide it in 2 and 5, and 16 I'm going to divide it in 2 and 8, and 8 I'm going to divide it in 2 and 4, and then 4 is 2 and 2. So if we see 160 is 2 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what we had here, 2 to the power of 5 times 5. Okay, I hope this makes sense to you girls. If it doesn't, please let me know and we will talk about it in class. Let me just do another example underneath here. So the other example that I wanted to do is I want to find the lowest common multiple between 24 and 36. So we have to do exactly the same thing of what we did before. We have first to break up our numbers into its prime factors or its building blocks so that we can find the lowest common multiple or the sum between 24 and 36 that have to have the building blocks of both 24 and 36. Okay, so 24, I'm going to start with 2 and 12, and 12 is 2 and 6, and 6 is 2 and 3. Wonderful. So 24 is going to be equal to 2 to the power of 3, 1, 2, 3, times 3. And then if I do 36, let's do 36 here. 36, I'm going to go with 6 and 6, and then 2 and 3, and 2 and 3. So this one is prime, 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 prime. So 36 is equal to 2 squared times 3 squared. Wonderful. So remember, lowest common multiple, common and not common. In this case, both are common. So I have 2 is common. So 2 times. Now, I have to choose the highest index. Why the highest index? Because it has to have the same building blocks of both of them. If I only put the lowest, this one, then I'm excluding one of the 2's that the 24 has. But if I put the highest, that is 3, then I'm including also these 2 that the 36 has. So this one is 3. So this one goes to the power of 3. And then my other common one is 3. Beautiful. Now, 3, when it doesn't have anything, it's because it has a 1. Agree? Because 3 to the power of 1 is 3. You're multiplying, you only have 1 3. When I have 3 to the power of 2, it means that I have 2 3's. 3 times 3. So which one is the largest of both? Is going to be 2. So this one is going to go to the power of 2. Wonderful. Now 2 to the power of 3 is 2 cubed is 8 times 3 square is 9. So this one is going to be 72. Okay, the lowest common multiple between these two, between 24 and 36, which makes sense if you can make some calculations here. 24 times 3 is going to be 72, and 36 times 2 is 72. So that's the lowest common multiple between these two. Wonderful. I hope you have clarified a little bit of, like, do a little bit of revision from last year, and you have a lot of questions to practice this skill in your booklet. And after you have practiced this skill, then go and watch the next video on adding and subtracting fractions. Thank you, girls.